The city awoke to another day, bright and indifferent to the battles being fought behind closed doors. Headlines flickered across screens, warning of market instability, questioning the stability of cross-affiliated ventures. Damian Voss's assault had grown bolder, mixing calculated business strikes with whispers in the media designed to unsettle partners and investors alike. Yet behind the chaos, Lucien Cross moved with precision, reading the tremors, predicting the pressure points, and adjusting every move as though he had anticipated the storm before it even formed. Adrian entered the office carrying the latest reports. Damian has released selective leaks to the press. He's trying to make it look like your allies are unreliable. Some of your partners are panicking. Lucien leaned back in his chair, fingertips brushing the black onyx crescent earring that dangled lightly from his left ear. The faint glimmer caught the morning light, a quiet reminder of the family's tradition to temper the airs with trials that forged resilience. Panic is contagious only if you allow it. We prepare, we respond, and we act. Nothing more. In the heart of Heir Enterprises, Vivian Hale sat behind her desk, reviewing the news feeds. The carefully constructed image of Lucien Cross was now appearing as a symbol of calm and competence. Investors were noting his decisive actions, while Damian's schemes were beginning to collapse under the weight of scrutiny. Yet she refused to allow herself to respect him. "He's surviving because he's lucky," she muttered, her fingers drumming the desktop. "No one can hold this level of scrutiny forever. He'll slip." Across town, Damian's operations team coordinated a simultaneous series of attacks. Business deals were undermined, false allegations floated into trade publications, and select financial partners received veiled threats. Yet for every maneuver, Lucien had anticipated a counter, calmly securing alliances, reinforcing trust, and neutralizing misinformation with a combination of transparency and authority. Every attempt to weaken him only strengthened his position. Later, Vivian attended a board luncheon with potential investors, attempting to showcase Heir Enterprises' strength while subtly disparaging Lucien. "Cross may have his moments," she said with practiced ease, "but he lacks the foundation to sustain such a campaign. Leadership is more than courage. It is strategy, connections, and foresight. That is where true power lies." Her words were firm, but a faint shadow crossed her expression as she imagined Lucien's calm face during the market briefings. She pushed it away quickly. He was still beneath her. She convinced herself of it. Back at Cross Tower, Lucien met with Adrian to review the unfolding crisis. Charts, press releases, and partner responses filled the room. But the focus was clear. Damian's combining pressure with perception. He hopes to destabilize by making the world believe in instability. We counter by being unshakable. Every partner, every investor, every piece of data must reflect truth, clarity, and calm. Fear is the weapon he wields. We return it with certainty. Adrian nodded. "And Vivian?" Lucien allowed a brief, almost imperceptible smile. "Vivian underestimates the consequences of her pride. That will be her lesson, not mine. I have no reason to invest emotions where clarity suffices." By evening, the media had begun circulating stories of Lucien's measured responses, emphasizing his leadership under fire. Damian's attempts to manipulate perception were quietly collapsing, and several investors reversed their tentative withdrawals. The Cross Heir remained unshaken, the black onyx crescent catching the muted glow of desk lights as he methodically reviewed the day's outcomes. Each move he had anticipated, each disruption he had countered, solidified his growing reputation as someone no market or rival could easily sway. Vivian observed the unfolding reports with a mixture of irritation and a faint, unacknowledged unease. The image of Lucien standing firm in the boardroom, speaking with composure to reporters, lingered in her mind despite her dismissal. She brushed the thought away and forced her focus on Damian's latest directives. "He's still powerless," she whispered to herself. Pride would not allow her to see the truth. Not yet. In the late hours, Damien gathered his senior strategists. He's resilient, he admitted through gritted teeth. His allies are loyal, his actions measured, and his influence growing. If we can't destabilize him through fear or manipulation, we must escalate. Every effort from now on must target the core, his resources, his credibility, his people. Lucien, anticipating further escalation, had already implemented additional safeguards. Risk assessments, partner audits, and direct communication lines ensured that any attempt to interference would be immediately identified and neutralized. For Lucien, every attack was not an obstacle, but a method to refine his strategy, to test his own patience, and to reveal weaknesses in the opposition that could be exploited with precision. Vivian, returning late to her office, reviewed another round of news alerts. The faintest recognition stirred within her, a whisper of respect she would never admit aloud, that Lucien Cross was no longer the man she had dismissed. Yet she convinced herself it was circumstantial, a temporary edge born of luck or timing. Still, the unease lingered, gnawing quietly beneath the surface of her certainty. As the city lights twinkled against the night sky, Lucien stood once more at the cross tower window. The black onyx crescent earring reflected a sliver of moonlight, a subtle emblem of the trials he had endured and the legacy he was forging. Adrian watched him silently from the doorway, understanding that the man before him was not merely a survivor, but a master of the space in which he operated. The attacks had escalated, the stakes had grown higher, and the challenges had become more personal. Yet Lucien's gaze remained steady, his mind precise, and his determination absolute. He had no lingering feelings for Vivian, no desire to reclaim what had been lost, only the unwavering focus of an heir proving himself worthy of the Cross name. Across the city, Damien and Vivian plotted their next moves, unaware that every escalation only tightened Lucien's grip. The heir had anticipated their strategies, adapted, and turned the pressure into proof of his own competence. The storm had not broken him, it had forged him. Night deepened, the city settling into quiet, but Lucien's vigilance did not waver. Every shadow, every whisper of manipulation, every attempt to unsettle him had been anticipated. He was calm. He was precise. He was untouchable, not because others underestimated him, but because he understood the value of foresight, clarity, and measured action. Vivian Hale, still clinging to pride and certainty, remained blind to the fact that she had already been outmaneuvered. Her first stirrings of regret had begun, faint and unspoken, but they would grow, and when they did, it would be too late. Lucien Cross no longer belonged to the world that once dismissed him. He belonged to himself and the legacy he was building, one decisive move at a time.